But when we go back up to here with acquisition and activation and retention, it becomes really important. Wow, I just got 3,000 times more visitors than I used to, but my engagement level dropped. So my visits goes up, and my engagement level, pages per visit, goes down. Okay, so I'm attracting the wrong type of person. And that's really important when you start spending money. So if you're spending money and you're getting a whole bunch of people to your website, well, that ad you put of the girl in the bikini is dragging people to your site. But when you're a mom site talking about selling book supplies, those people who clicked on the woman in the bikini aren't going to be there buying supplies for their kids in school if they're expected to be moms in a purple and pink kind of designed website. And it's something people realize after they spent hundreds or thousands of dollars that, wow, I made this great ad and this great link from a partner friend of mine, and I got all these people to my website, but they were the wrong people. So they get two different things: change the ad or change what your website does, and you turn into a porn site. And then you get banned. So you can basically drill into these reports, create custom reports, and then you save it as a widget to your desktop, make a shortcut, make it an advanced segmentation. We'll get into that. I keep talking about it. Here's like, okay, here's my visitor loyalty. So a lot of people come and visit with one visit, and they generate this many pages. Okay. So the page depth on this type of user is about 2.5 to 3. So the new visitor who visits once sees 2.5 to 3 pages. The guy who comes all the time sees 7 pages and generates 33 pages. So you can guess how many people there are that do that. Right? Oh, this is the number of visits. Wait, no, this is the number of visits that individual did, and this is how many visits they actually did. So how many people visit all the time? 21. All the employees of SCV Startup, right? They come all the time and they generate 130 of the page views out of 88 or 822. So these people. So where's my traffic coming from? Hardcore users, medium users. Tools like this you can just play all day long and get hung up on making these really cool reports, charts, and all this stuff. But again, go back to his funnel. What are you trying to do? Who's using the site? What are the metrics that are important? What's your end goal? Getting people to hang around on your website isn't that great when you're a cinematographer trying to sell cinematography packages and have no ads on your website. They're just clicking on your website. But if they really fall in love with it, maybe there's word of mouth. And so the word of mouth that leads to, oh man, hire him, he's a great cinematographer because they spent an hour on the website looking at all these wedding pictures and baby pictures and outdoor camping pictures. They thought it was great. And so maybe it's top of mind that when they think of a cinematographer, they think of him. But there's no way to measure it in analytics, how many people actually called him up on the phone or found his business card or hired him. So sometimes you can't measure that last thing on here and you just want a ton of traffic. But maybe you want, now we'll get into goals, I guess would be a good time. You want to say, well, what's the goal? The goal is, I'm going to go here to admin. I'm going to make a goal. And you're allowed to create 20 goals. And you probably don't want to create too many more or you're doing it wrong. Is create a goal. And then it's like, okay, here's all your goal stuff. And it kind of walks you through what you're trying to do. So I'm getting people to place an order. Well, not for a cinematographer online. They're not really placing an order online. I'm trying to get them to create an account. Well, maybe I want them to log in to look at pictures or log in to look at their own pictures of a wedding I did for them in the past. Or they're clicking to contact us. So these are the type of goals. So how do you track this? Let's do this. I'm going to go down here. Next step. And it's okay. I'm trying to get them to a certain page, right? So I'm going to say, if they go to the Contact Us page, that doesn't mean they contacted us. It just means they read the page. So maybe there's a form that after they hit submit, the thank you page is what it says here, thanks HTML. That's a web page that only after they click the submit form, that page is generated. That's the only way to get to that page. No one's going to randomly type that in. So if they get to that page, then I've completed my goal. So I can say, if they go there, boom, it's a goal. So let's just use that as an example. And it says destination, and you can do these kinds of things where it doesn't have to be the exact page, but maybe you have 5 iterations or variations of a thank you page. And so you create a regular expression, or it begins with thank, and then there's thank you, thank me, thank your mom, whatever. And so there's thank, and then or regular expressions, case sensitive, all that kind of stuff. And then you say, well, here's a value. Assign a monetary value to the conversion. So if they get to that page, that means, well, if they get to this thank you page, that means that they contacted me and I know it's worth $15 because that's the average money I make from someone who contacts me or something. You can put a value in there. Then when you go back to your goals, your reports that shows your goals, it says, okay, you made $300 this month because 20 people got to this page that generates $15 each time they do that. So that's a real quick summary of how that works. Then there's funnels like specify a path that you want to get there. Oh, it kind of gets complicated. And then you can verify it. Or I can go up here and I can say every time that's the $15 amount thing, right? So I'm going to go back for a second.
So why would you want to specify the funnel?
So I'm going to go back to events.
If you want them to go to the home page, go to a category on your store, add a product to the cart, and then check out.
Where is events? Oh,
So, or you want to have two goals. One could be they sign up for a new account, then they go to checkout. And so now with that funnel, you can see who's signing up, then checking out. And then with the other funnel, you can say, okay, who's already logging in and then checking out. And that way you can show two funnels
But
side by
it'll
side.
track that anyway.
There's a bunch of funneling stuff in here that's really neat,
But that'll
kind of
show
advanced.
goals.
And you'll see that you want to know which funnel they came from to give values to. So this funnel is working really much better than this funnel.
So if you have two different
So
landing
push people
pages-
this way, don't push them this way. Don't have them go look at baby pictures, just have them go to the contact us page. You can spend an hour looking at pictures, but they don't contact me as much as the people who see a big giant red contact us button. So how do I want to design the page? So here's our events, and we don't have any on this website, except for tonight, the best event ever. But different kind of event. Events are things that people do on the website. So if they click something, if they add two pages together kind of thing, you code it, and this is complicated stuff if you want it to be. You code it so that you say, I'm PHP developer, Python, Ruby, whatever, and I'm going to make it that when this happens, I'm going to tell Google this event just happened. It could be as simple as I visited this web page, fire off this event. But what's the point? Pages are already kind of there to be tracked. There's no point. When they hit the 5th page view, fire off an event that says, this user is a 5th page view visitor. Add this event. Well, that's good because then you know, instead of just looking at averages, you say, oh, how many people passed the 5th page view? And then that becomes a goal. So how do I get people to get to that 5th page view? As opposed to an average, where one guy goes to 100 and the rest of the people all go to 1, and then the average is 5. That's not what you're looking for. The pages per visit will tell you 5. But it doesn't mean that that many people got to the 5th page. But to know that they got to the 5th page, you can't just be the average coder and say, well, this page on my website is the 5th page. It doesn't work. You need to know, well, how did they get to that page? So if you are a coder and you start incrementing a count in the user's cookie session, again, cookies, you can then say, every time this person, I see this person on a page, increment value X by 1. And then when value X gets to 5, fire a Google event. So internally it's saying, increment their cookie, increment their cookie, increment their cookie. And then it gets to the 5th one and says, okay, this page, when it loads, it's the 5th page. Create a Google event, fire it off, now Google will know about it. So then you can track it here. And so let's say you're a voting website. You want to know how many times people voted, as opposed to just people visited a page that had a poll on it. So you have page views and visits and all that kind of stuff, but it doesn't tell you how many people are voting. And if you want to go count every single poll you have on your site and add up the numbers, that's going to be painful. So you could just say every time someone votes, fire off an event to Google saying voted. And that event is asynchronous you can do, which means you don't have to wait for that person to go to the next page. Like I vote on this page and it sends me to this page. So on that second page, put the event that says, this person voted. Instead, while they're on that one page and they vote and then you show them the results, it can then say, and fire this off to Google telling them that this event just happened. So now you know, okay, they voted. Then what you might do another event that says, well, tell me when someone registers. And again, you don't need to have a registered.html page. They might register asynchronously in a page without going to another page. Just a little form pops up or an overlay, hit submit, says thank you, but the page itself doesn't reload or go anywhere. So you wouldn't have any Google event or URL really to tell you. So you could put that event as code, so it says when successful registration, fire this Google event asynchronously. So now I could say, okay, when a user votes, how many register, how many times do they vote before they register? These kinds of things you can start measuring that aren't page related, they're event related, which is why they call it events. And events are really neat because you can filter on them, though I've had problems with Google, with filters being accurate for profile filtering, but you could use advanced segmentations for that. And we keep talking about that, and I'll get to that in a minute. But events are really neat. Where's my mouse? Okay, so if I come down here, action, so there's category, action, and label. So the category might be, what did the person do? And so one category is called vote. So what's the action? Voted yes, voted no. Right? And then what's the label? A label is a numeric value, I think. No, that's the value.
No, the label can be anything.
Yeah, label's anything, it's a value that's a value, a numeric value. So a label, what you could say is, well, they voted yes on, and here was the title of the poll. So you can dynamically pass values into events. So you say, voted, registered, bought some goods on my site, whatever, that could be the event. And the action could be voted yes, voted undecided. I really want to know how many people are voting undecided, for example. Or how many people vote the first answer choice on the page. If they're just straight lining, they're just always clicking the first vote. I need to redo it to make people look around differently. So, and then this could be, well, what was the name of the poll that they looked at? So they bought something, or they looked at a product, they bought the product, and this is what the product was called. And then the value could be how much did the product cost, how many of the items of that product did they buy. So this becomes really neat. If you set this up properly, you could say, you could ignore the category and almost look at the action across levels. So category could be pants, shirts, dresses, skirts. And then this could be, I put it in my shopping cart. Bought it. Just looked at it. So now I'm going to look at my website and go, I don't care if it was pants, skirts, or shorts. I care how many people bought things. Or I care how many people looked at things, put them in the shopping cart. So I just do a report on this and then ignore that. So before you set up your event, think of not just this one event, but how all of your events are going to be set up, so that I can say, why would this report be valuable to me? Because I really care about how many people are doing the action of putting things into shopping carts as opposed to dresses. Because really you don't care what you're selling, maybe you're just caring how well you're selling it. So really think about that, and then that comes into pages with events on them. So what pages have what events, and then the events flow. And this gets really fun here, that you can then kind of go to that flow of, well, if they're voting before they're registering, are they putting it in their shopping cart before they're buying it? Probably. But are they recommending it before they buy it, or put it in their shopping cart? Are they putting it in their shopping cart and then recommending it? So if you know the flow of how you get them to, or you'll see what they're doing, then you can kind of tailor your website differently to say, no, I don't want that flow, or oh, they're doing that flow, let me take advantage of it. So flow becomes important. It's time. Think of it as time. What's the course of events? So if I just look at the number of page views, I look at how many items there are, I'm just getting an overall picture. But tell me what the average user is doing on my site. Oh, they're going to do this, and then they're going to do that, and then they're going to do this. That's what they call flows and funnels.